say, this wouldn't happen to be your ship, would it? Because you sure walked in it like it was your ship. And if this ship is yours, well, ma'am, you owe Spacer's Choice a hefty fine. Afraid we gotta dock your pay.
You got it all on starships.
Oh, by the law. I'm so sorry. I had no idea we had an inspector coming. If you'd like to speak with my manager, I report to Constable Reyes in Edgewater. Edgewater's not too far. Just follow the road east of here, over past the cemetery. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to inspect the crime scene before I make my report.
That's a beautiful game. I want to edit because this is
Whoa, hey.
still. Wants me to do so. What wants me to do about it? Okay.
The grease monkey, Argo? Seems we've got a guest. Really now, Parvati, I do wish you'd spoken up. I do apologize. I was given no forewarning of your arrival, or I might have welcomed you at the gates myself. I'm Reed Thompson, Outpost Administrator. I cannot help but notice you are not in uniform.
I think you have the wrong idea about me, or from what are you talking about? I work for Space Race.
Of course not. I don't have that kind of luck. Seems I allowed my excitement to run away with my wits. Been a few seasons since we've had a visitor pass through.
My ship needs repair. I'm looking for a power regulator. I don't plan on staying long.
Only regulator we got is hooked up to the town transformer. Mr. Thompson ain't liable to be keen on dismantling it.
I beg your pardon. I am most emphatically not keen on any such thing. I can't let you have our power regulator. But I happen to know of another one. And I happen to know exactly how you may retrieve it without frying yourself in the process. Oh, yes. Saw someone put his hands on a regulator while the power was running. His legs were still twitching when we buried him. There's a power regulator in the old botanical lab. It's mostly abandoned, so all that power is being squandered. Go down to the geothermal plant. Reroute power from the botanical district over to us. Once their power's shut down, you can have their regulator and be along on your way.
When you say mostly abandoned, what do you mean? That's a lot to ask of a stranger. Tell me about the geothermal plant.
I was not entirely sure how to tell you this. The botanical labs are not legally inhabited, but there are people who live there.
Tell me what I need to do. What surprise I never would have guessed. I don't think these people will be kindly to losing their power. You mean marauders? Marauders aren't people.
No, I do not imagine they will be pleased. But like a parent disciplining an unruly child, you will be doing them a kindness. The people living in the botanical labs, they're deserters, former workers. I need them back at their posts. I need them to come home.
Tell me what I needed to do. Why? If you want me to solve your deserter problem, I charge by the head.
Edgewater is struggling. We haven't hit our production quota in years. If we don't meet our quotas this year, the company might shut us down for good. I need those workers back at their stations.
How can I help? None of that. What you're telling me is Black Pearl? No, see in Edgewater, don't blame those workers for walking out.
My hope is that by cutting off their power, you will convince those deserters to come back to town. Before you go to the plant, I want you to stop by the botanical lab. Speak to their leader, Adelaide. Tell her the power's about to go, and that it's time her band of deserters came back to town.
See what I can do to help. How will I reckon Adelaide? Can't make any promises.
Of course, I understand completely. Here, let me give you the passcode to the geothermal plant. A sign of good faith for so politely listening to me as I ramble on.
Are you setting off for the Vale? Because I know my way around. I mean, in case you want a guide. I mean, if that's all right with you, Mr. Thompson. Sir.
I hesitate to part ways with Miss Holcomb, but I cannot deny that she is talented and may prove useful to you.
Great! I got my wrenches and diagnosticators and hairpins and engine tape, so I'm all set.
Well, I am glad to hear that. Best of luck to you, and thank you again for your help. It is a lot to ask of a stranger, I know.
Let's get going. Conversation.
We better clear out of Mr. Thompson's office before we talk.
That was Louie, our kitty cat. He's a good boy.
Hey, ma'am, can we talk? Sorry. You got a minute? Sorry. You just want to get out of here. And you likely don't want to tag along like me. It's just, Mr. Thompson has his own view on matters, on account of it's his job and what all, but that's not the only side of the tale.
This is about the deserters, so what's the other side of it? Peter Green didn't exactly strike me as the most honest soul. What he said seemed pretty straightforward to me. If I wanted to deal with nonsense, might be this heavily armed. Let's move.
To Mr. Thompson, a person's a gear. It does its job quiet-like. If it squeaks or stutters, it gets replaced. The deserters are decent folk. I knew some of them before they left.
I can't blame anybody for wanting to leave this town. It's got issues. How well did you know the deserters you worked with? Them, you were friends, or what? Did you know Abdel Reed's mentioned?
Miss McDevitt? Oh, gosh, no. She was a real important person. A flavorist. Made all the food taste decent. She used to work up in the big office with Mr. Thompson. All I know is she left after her son died. It was a real big to-do. I could hear them both yelling clear from my own place.
Wanting to leave the town.
Life's hard here. Especially for them that don't fit in so well. We're one big Spacer's Choice family, but every family's got the one the rest whisper about. Mr. Thompson's aiming to take away their power. They'll have no lights to see, nor heat to cook. They'll be at the mercy of marauders, or worse. I think you should talk to the town's vicar about it. Max, his name is.
How about her? Well, stop by. What do you need to talk to Vicar about? Flipping the switch is your power move? Where would I find him?
Thanks, ma'am. I just think when you gotta make a decision that'll hurt somebody, it's best to think on the right and wrong of it. That's what my dad used to say anyways.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'll just be a minute.
Another day at the cannery.
Work. At least we've got work.
You think corporate's ever gonna visit?
Had your rations yet?
I've been feeling pretty low these days.
Nothing I can do about that.
I've always felt weird in here. It's too clean.
Yes, what is it? You're an outsider. Fantastic. Vicar Maximilian de Soto at your service. Or Vicar Max, if you're the sort who prefers brevity. And Ms. Holcomb as well. How rare to see you out. And with a complete stranger. Curious.
Just tagging along, Vicar DeSoto. Don't mind me.
I so rarely get new people to talk to. Name your poison, anything at all. Spiritual counseling, this season's tossball predictions, the quickest way out of town.
Parvati wants to talk to you about the Reed dude. How did you know I'm not sir? What sort of spiritual advice you offer? I just thought something else I need to be doing.
What? I thought you would talk to him.
You wanted to speak to me, Ms. Holcomb? Every time I've tried to engage you in conversation, you look at the floor, answer in single words, and slink away. I can't imagine what would be so grave as to drive her to my mission. What has Mr. Thompson asked you to do?
Fix a geothermal plant, cut off the power Adele deserters.
Depriving them of safety from the marauders and wildlife. I can see why that troubles you. Miss Holcomb has a soft heart. Always has, if you believe the talk.
So what do you advise? What do you think Adele's group? Right, great. Can you wrap this up?
They rejected the order of society and live beyond the walls so thoughtfully provided by our Spacer's Choice patrons. Does that strike you as a responsible life choice?
Depends on how well the leader can provide beyond the...
Astute. But I am here, not in the deserter camp. So that's not a variable I can account for.
So what do you advise? Great. Right, great. Can you wrap this up?
Assuming your goal is to save as many as possible, then you should bring everyone together. Send the power to Edgewater and convince the deserters to return to the fold.
Is that possible? Right, just talk everybody into coming together. I'll keep that in mind. It sounds like I've got my work cut out for me. Thank you for your time. This has been a waste of time.
Not if things are left to stand as they are. If you don't mind a bit of unsolicited advice, be cautious on your way to the geothermal plant. It is not as safe as you might assume.
And why is that? I've been outside. I'm not impressed. And I can handle myself better than Victor.
One of the reasons I transferred here was to fulfill my duty in hunting down banned heretical texts. I happen to know such a book is, as we speak, tainting a collector's library in Emerald Vale. However, the collector's residence lies outside the town's walls. My retrieval efforts have been thwarted by marauders who have overrun the property. Should you fare better than me, I'd pay a handsome sum for the book.
Why would you figure be after a banned radical book? I assume you'll want to burn it once you... very fascinating, I'm sure, but I got...
It's a handwritten journal. A faded blue cover with the name M. Bakonu handwritten in the lower corner. I'll mark where I saw it on your map. Assuming you're serious?
I'll look for your book. Why would Vicar be after a band? Assume you'll want to... I need to know a little bit more about the book before I agree to this.
Thank you. If you retrieve it, you can always find me here.
Miss Parvati. Come for a visit?
Not today. Just helping this lady. I used to skip rocks in the river till Constable Reyes ticketed me for unlicensed terraforming. I bet she was jealous. She don't know how to skip rocks her own self.
some.
Move along, stranger. We don't want any trouble. I don't know you. Whatever you're looking for, it ain't here. Move along.
What's your problem? I'm looking for Adele. I need some answers.
Answers, huh? You must be one of those philosophicals. Already got ourselves one of those.
The thermal plant, know anything about it? It's up about a former worker out of the wilderness. I'll get out of.
A geo what? Look, plants ain't my purview. You're better off asking after Adelaide. If you're gonna start wandering around my camp, know that I got my sights on you.
Where can I find Adelaide?
Over in the hothouse, tending crop. Enough with the questions. No offense, but I've got a lot on my mind.
We got a problem. I just got shot into space. You and me both trying to figure out how I'm going to repair my ship. Trouble with marauders. I'll get it.
Explains why you're still yammering on at me. No, I'm sorry. That was unworthy of me. Lady named Zoe went missing some nights ago. Just up and vanished without a trace. Now I'm pacing around wondering if marauders got to her.
I'll keep an eye out.
It's not like Zoe to go wandering. Figured she might be out scavenging, but that ain't exactly her talent. Can't imagine where she's gone. Vale's a wide place. She could be anywhere.
That's Raj got her, then part of her could be stuck around.
Appreciate it. Honest. I'll tell you what I can.
Yeah, where she might be hiding, maybe the Mars. How well do you know her?
Well, enough to know we never got on. Zoe and Stefan were close. If anybody knows the workings of her mind, he does.
You seem personable. Can't imagine how you didn't get on with her. Any idea where it might be? Maybe the Mars changed.
She was lazy and thoughtless, but she's still one of our own.
Any idea where that she might be hiding?
What is it?
Okay, guys, I am gonna. Alright, I'm calling it here, guys. Have a wonderful night. And if you like this video, please hit like, share, and follow. Be very appreciative and have a wonderful day.